gather circles. So I specialize in moon circles and lunar manifestation. So if you're wondering what the heck lunar manifestation is, that's actually what I'm here to talk to you about today. With yesterday being the Taurus new moon and Cheryl giving a great overview of the astrology, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how you can actually work with the energy of the new moon and the full moon to create some really powerful transformation in your life. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself, then we'll get into what lunar manifestation is, and then talk specifically about working with the full moon and the new moon energies, and then a little bit more about just how you can kind of level up your lunar manifestation practice. So if that all sounds good, we'll dive right in. As I said, just going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. So my name is Ashley Cramer, and I might have met some of you last year at Pineapple Paradise. I was there doing crystal readings, and I also led a lunar manifestation workshop. For those of you that I haven't met, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so happy to be here. Really, thanks to Pineapple Life for bringing me on to talk to you today. So I actually got into lunar manifestation because of a Scorpio new moon on my birthday. Basically, I'd read something online about it being a really powerful new moon for manifestation, and since it was on my birthday, it seemed aligned. So I did some research and learned a little bit about working with the full moon and the new moon. But when I looked into it, I thought, okay, this is just something really simple that I can do and very practical. I can journal on the new moon and the full moon for the next 6 months and make that commitment to myself and see what kind of clarity I can get or if I can make any changes from this. And it ended up being a really powerful time of transformation for me. So from my lunar manifestation practice, I learned a lot about myself, what I wanted, what I didn't want, and made some huge changes, including like moving to another part of California. So not saying that's going to happen to you, but it's a really, really powerful practice when you do align with the phase of the moon. You get in the flow, you connect with your emotions, you connect with feminine energy, and start to look at different areas of your life where you want to manifest. And if you follow that, you can really make some big changes very quickly. I always like to say that lunar manifestation can accelerate change in your life. So for me, during that, I actually found myself going to shaman school. So as I sit here today, I am actually a fully initiated Pampa Mesa Yoke shaman, which is a Peruvian shamanic lineage. And now I'm leading Gather Circles, which is the business that I founded, and I lead moon circles and lunar manifestation workshops and practices. So that said, we'll dive right into lunar manifestation. So what the heck is it? Lunar manifestation is aligning with the phases of the moon in order to create your best life. That's the simplest way I think you can put it, is just moon manifesting. That's it. There are actually 8 phases of the moon that you can work with for lunar manifestation, but we're going to focus today on just 2 of those. So the full moon and the new moon, as those are the simplest and really, really potent energies to work with. So I want to talk about getting into the flow of working with moon phases, and that really involves understanding the energy. And I've got some notes here just so you guys know that I might check just to make sure I'm not missing anything for you. But getting into the flow, so working with the energies of the new moon and the full moon, it's really important to understand the difference between those. So the new moon is about setting intentions, or what I call the cultivating side of the energy. The full moon is about releasing what doesn't serve us, or what I call the illuminating side of the energy. So new moon, we're thinking about the blank sky, the dark sky, as this blank space, right? We can plant the seeds of intention. It's really clear space for us to go very inward and be introspective and think about what we really want. Now, this isn't time to be shy. This is time to have big, audacious dreams. This is if it's coming from within you, if your self can dream it, this is the kind of thing that you want to be looking at for what you really want in your life. Whether it's having to do with family or love or career or your future, whatever it is, your best self is giving you information during the new moon about the possibility of what can be in your life. So take note of that and start to set intentions around that. On the full moon, or what I call the illumination side, this is when the full moon shines light into all of those dark corners of our soul, into those shadows, and helps us to shine a light on maybe the things that are holding us back from reaching our intentions. So that information that we got from our highest self on the new moon about what we really want, sometimes we're holding ourselves back, either with beliefs, actions, or behaviors, subconscious patterning. There are things that don't serve us, and the full moon helps us to illuminate that and to let it go so that we can make space for all of the good we want to call in. So if you think about it, humans are like containers. We can only hold so much, right? So if you want to call in more good, you have to release something to make space for it. And that's what the full moon's all about. I also want to note that the full moon, that description of releasing and illuminating, sounds like it could be ominous, that it's always going to be dark. But a lot of times too, the full moon is about celebrating. We go dance in the moonlight, right? We celebrate either where we've been and what we've overcome to get closer to where we're going, or we celebrate big wins. We celebrate growth we've had. We celebrate transformation. So it's both about uncovering and discovering and releasing in that way, but also making sure that we acknowledge and celebrate where we're at. So to manifest, it's really important to get clear on what we want, and that's what that new moon is about. So to actually do this, I recommend, this is where we get into what lunar manifestation actually is, just making a simple journaling practice twice a month. So on the new moon, make space, clear, quiet space, clear time. And, I always recommend, when I say make space, I mean like sacred space. So Palo Santo, put some crystals around you, put yourself in a space and time that feels inspired and is somewhere that you can really get quiet and go inward. And then sit there and journal. Ask yourself what you really want. Ask yourself what your big audacious dreams are. And then you can actually, like yesterday with Cheryl's new moon astrology overview, you can look at what area of your life the astrology is in right now. So for Taurus, for example, it's about self-worth, it's about money, it's about love, and you can actually align your what you want with that astrology to give you some themes to journal on. But if you don't want to go that far, step one is just, what do I want today? What do I need to know today? And getting in touch with your higher self about what you want to make your future look like. A couple tips for setting intentions. When you set them, write in I am format. So I am whatever, fill in the blank there, right? And as you write in the I am format, make sure that you visualize this happening. So when you write the I am intentions, it's as if you're living them. So as shamans, we don't believe that there's any division between space and time, that there are infinite possibilities available to us. And so when we write these I am intentions, we're tapping into that destiny line, tapping into the possibility, and actually believing and moving momentum and energy towards that outcome. So new moon, set intentions, write I am statements, and visualize as if they're happening. And make sure, again, that you give yourself time and space. Now full moon, so a couple weeks later, when we get to the full moon, you're going to journal again. But this time you're going to approach it a little bit differently. Same thing, make time and space. But I want you this time to sit down and write about what might be holding you back from those previous intentions. So sometimes it helps to go back and read the intentions, really get in touch with what you were thinking then. But starting to look at where in your life you might be holding yourself back. And some keys to this are behaviors. Is there something that you're doing regularly that might stop you from going where you want to go? Is there a limiting belief? So a lot of things that come up around limiting beliefs, especially for women, tend to be fear, guilt, shame, a lot of those kind of emotional underlying sticky, as I call them, themes that keep you from really feeling that you're worthy. That's a really key word in manifestation, worthy. That keep you from thinking that you're worthy or acting like you're worthy of your desired outcome. So anything that might be inhibiting you from joy or possibility or love, those are the kind of things we want to pay attention to on the full moon, and those are the kind of things we want to illuminate. And sometimes, frankly, these are subconscious patterns. These are things that have been ingrained in us for years. So using meditation can help unlock those. Doing free writing exercises can help unlock those. But again, getting back to just our simple practice is just sitting there, calling in the information, asking yourself, getting clear, what might be holding me back from getting to my intentions that I set on the new moon. So when you've done this is where we get a little, if you want to get a little shamany, you can do that. You can leave it just with your journaling practice, or as shamans, we say that the full moon is the time to burn, bury, or set to sea that which no longer serves you. So if you want, tear that page out of the journal, go ahead, light it on fire, bury it somewhere, or throw it in a running body of water. Or if you don't want to do that, but you want to release it and not hold on to that in your journal, tear it up and just ceremoniously throw it in the trash and say, thanks, but I don't need you anymore. You can also just leave it in your journal so that you can refer back later and see how far you've come. It's up to you, but as in shamanic practice, we often do like to actually take what we want to release, get rid of it, and put it back into the earth. It's almost like the laws of physics, right? Like energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be changed. So we're taking that energy, the act of writing it takes that energy from inside of you, gets it onto the page, it's out of your body, and now you're asking the universe, it's out there to be taken away from you and to allow you to move forward and call in on the next new moon, to call in even more good for yourself, to set even higher intentions or to get closer to the intentions you've set. So as we're talking about the interplay of the new moon and the full moon, this is where I want to give you just a quick analogy. It's like a breath cycle, right? So on the new moon, you're breathing in, it's a big inhale, and you're calling in all of the things that you want from the universe. And the full moon is this huge exhale where you release everything that's not serving you, and you make space in yourself, you make space in your container, so that you can call in even more on the next moon cycle. Okay, hope you guys are still with me. Again, keywords: cultivate, illuminate, and then with that moon cycle, inhale and exhale. So new moon, inhale; full moon, exhale; new moon, cultivate intentions; full moon, illuminate what doesn't serve. If you followed along that whole thing, that's really what it boils down to. I'm going to wrap up here pretty quickly, but before we go, I want to talk a little bit about new moon and full moon rituals. So I really believe in bringing ceremony or bringing ritual into your life because it puts you in the present moment, right? Instead of just going through the motions of something, think about being in a workout class. You can go through the motions, or you can really be present and you can know when it's time to push yourself, when it's time to pull back, what you're doing. You feel this in your body. Rituals do that for us in daily life. By creating ritual, by creating space, we really help ourselves ground into the present moment, and that helps with clarity, that helps with getting the information that we need, and that really helps us be active in this act of transformation and manifestation. So journaling is a ritual in and of itself, but you can make it really a moon ritual or make it something really special, like I've mentioned before about creating time and space. So I always recommend making a specific set amount of time, turn off your phone, tell family not to disturb you, all of those things, and go into a space in your house or outdoors, somewhere that makes you feel really connected and makes you feel really special. I personally like to use Palo Santo or sage to clear the space before I start. And I like to have crystals around that are really supportive. I work with a lot of crystals, so that's something that is special to me. But for some people, it's scent. So if you like essential oils, or candles, it's having a scent nearby that triggers something for you, or flowers, or something in the space that just makes you feel inspired as you have your journaling practice. Take a few deep breaths to ground yourself before you start, and really ask for messages from yourself, from your guides, whatever feels right to you. And then when you're finished with the journaling practice, always remember to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and I say thank you 3 times. Thank you for what's been, thank you for what is now, and thank you for what is coming in the future. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And that just helps for me to make it something more ritual, right? Not just going through the motions of journaling. You can also add on to your moon practices by doing things like understanding the astrology of that lunation. Oh, keyword that I haven't mentioned yet, lunation. So lunation is the time from the new moon to the new moon, or the full moon to the full moon. So it's the time between lunar phases. So you can study the lunar astrology for that lunation. So like the update that Cheryl gave yesterday, learn a little bit about what that lunation is about, what that lunar phase is about, and tailor your journaling towards that. You can also create special rituals around ritual baths. Do you like to take baths with flowers and crystals and scents, or do breath work and meditation, or have specific yoga practices? There are all sorts of things that you can add on to your moon ritual practice of journaling, just to deepen it and to help give yourself even more space for that and make it something just really special twice a month that's for you. So I think that that's about it. But before I go, one thing I want to mention, another way to really level up your lunar manifestation practice is to share it with others. So in a community, so moon circles like I lead, we can begin to send our intentions out into the universe, or send out what we want to be released. We send those amplified when we do it with a collective. So whether that's in person or right now under the situation we're in, virtually, by sitting in circle with other women, we create a space for vulnerability, for sharing, and for collectively manifesting our best lives. So if you want to join one of my circles, you can find the information on my Instagram. I'm doing virtual circles right now, and they're free at the moment. Also, we will be doing a circle with Pineapple Life, hopefully for the next full moon, so stay tuned for information about that. Feel free, you can find me on Instagram at ashley.cramer or at Gather Circles. Send me a DM if you have any questions or have other questions on lunar manifestation, full moon, new moon, any of that, and I'm more than happy to answer. Thank you so much for listening in today, for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.